Welcome, everybody. My name is Tyler Garnes. I'm the president of Box Out Marketing, and I'm the host of the Global User Group Meeting, which we have for Infusionsoft users. Many of you know that I run a local user group meeting here in Dana Point, California, thanks to our friends Tom and Lorraine Bodorf, who allow us to utilize their office as the venue for those events. But I talked to so many people over the years that say, oh, I wish I could come to your user group meetings. And so we started holding these online as well. Actually, what we started doing first was broadcasting our live user group meetings over a webinar jam with a camera and everything. And what we found is that it just wasn't a great experience for either group. For the group that was there in person, we had to keep repeating questions so that people online could hear. And it wasn't a great experience for the people who were watching online either. So now we do a live user group meeting, and separately we do this global user group meeting where anyone in the world who may or may not have a local user group can join us. The one drawback is it's not quite as interactive when it's webinar format versus in person, but I do want to have an interactive conversation with you here. So if you're not familiar with GoToWebinar, familiarize yourself with the sidebar, the control panel there. There's a questions section there. Feel free to make comments, ask questions, etc. I'll try and address them as we go, but generally I'll get to all your questions at the end. So today's topic is the 7 must-have Infusionsoft campaigns. We talk to so many Infusionsoft users that have 1 or maybe 2 or 3 campaigns set up, and then they're really just using Infusionsoft for a glorified database and email broadcaster. And that's really frustrating because we see the power of what Infusionsoft can do for your business, and yet people are not taking advantage of that. And there's a few reasons why. We're going to address those on this webinar during this global user group meeting. And I'm going to show you the very, very simple ways to get your entire customer life cycle set up in Infusionsoft and automated so that you can start to achieve the dream that you originally had when you signed up for Infusionsoft. So first, just a little bit of background for those of you that are new to Box Out Marketing, to me, to our group here. I've got a bachelor's degree in human biology, which doesn't help us at all with marketing, right? Except for that science background taught me the scientific method of testing. And I think that's what has allowed me to be good at marketing. It's just testing things over and over and over and having that testing mindset. After college, I went into pharmaceutical sales for a little over 5 years. And that's where I was trained on selling the benefits of a product or a service. Particularly as small business owners, we tend to get really excited about what we do and the nitty gritty, the features. We get really excited about the features, and we'd like to talk to people about the features, and we bore them to death about the features of what we're doing, when in reality we should be selling the benefits. Then I went to Infusionsoft. I was the director and the VP of marketing at Infusionsoft for about 5 years. That's where I really learned marketing at a deep level. I became the VP of sales and marketing at a company called NPE. That's where I really learned systems in a deeper way. And then I've been running Box Out Marketing for a little over 4 years. And this is where we work with Infusionsoft clients to create results-based campaigns. We build marketing campaigns in Infusionsoft for Infusionsoft users. And our whole focus is getting those results. We want to get results. If you're not getting results for Infusionsoft, then or with Infusionsoft, then you've got a real problem, right? You're paying this money, you're investing time and effort, and it's all going down the tubes if you're not getting results. So I've also had the opportunity to speak, because of these various experiences, at lots and lots of different conferences around the world. InfusionCon, multiple times, 6 or 7 different InfusionCons, or ICON as they now call it, marketing props events, GKIC events, Traffic and Conversion Summit, Inbound Marketing Summit, Small Biz Technology Tour, a couple of years running, Frank Kern events. I've helped Brendan Burchard with his Infusionsoft, and on and on and on. But we'll move on from that and get down to what it's really about, surfing, right? No, this is actually my son's surf team. He's the third one from the left. short kid with brown hair. We're all short in the Gardens family. But they recently won their high school state championships, state of California state champs. They won first place. And the reason I bring this up is because this is, for me, what Infusionsoft is all about. It's creating the space and time to be able to go enjoy these experiences with my son, with our kids, with our families, etc. So here's the whole clan. My oldest son in the middle, who you saw just a moment ago, Aaliyah, our daughter, and the two other boys, Caden and Ashton, and of course my beautiful wife, Jill. So for me, this is what it's all about, right? It's about being able to enjoy life at a deeper level. And for you, your dream might be a little bit different, and that's fine. What I want you to do is take 20 seconds right now and really contemplate that dream. What was your Infusionsoft dream when you first signed up for Infusionsoft? When you're talking to the sales rep and the sales rep's telling you all about the benefits of Infusionsoft and what it can do for you, what did that look like? And I ask you, take a minute and remember that dream. Remember what it felt like and what you thought it was. Because if you're not there yet, I want to give you just a little bit of hope that you can get there. So I'm going to be quiet here for just a minute and let you go ahead and think about that. So make some comments in the questions box. Let me know what you're thinking there. Have you achieved that dream that you originally envisioned? Are you close to it? Are you 20% there? Are you 5% there? Are you 75% there? How are you going with your progress towards that dream? So we've got some comments coming in here. 25%, no, but making progress. Maybe 80% on that one. 50%, 30%, etc. So that's what we typically run into. Most Infusionsoft users are not achieving the dream that they originally set out to achieve. And it's not Infusionsoft's fault. There are many, many factors that go into it. We'll talk about that here in a sec. Really what we want to get down into here, though, is how do we achieve that dream? How do we make it happen in a way that's realistic, that doesn't cost a ton of money, and that you can do in the time that you have available to you because you're busy running your business, right? So you have ideas. Now that you've remembered that dream, what are the ideas that you have that you've wanted to implement in Infusionsoft that you just haven't yet? I want you to get those crystal clear in your mind. Here's what typically happens is we have those ideas, we get excited about those ideas, and then we go into planning mode, right? And you may have done this before on a whiteboard. You plan it all out, you map out all your sequences, your campaigns. It's really exciting. You have amazing vision for what you're doing. And then you go to implement it in Infusionsoft, and it might end up like a spaghetti of wires, right? It just ends up maybe kind of chaotic. Some of you might be a little bit better at this, and you use some fancy software to plan out your campaigns and your marketing timelines and everything. And then you get into it, Infusionsoft, and you implement it, and your campaigns look like this, right? And they're really hard to follow after you get it all figured out, or you come back to it months later and you try to remember, what the heck was I thinking there? What is going on? I'm not quite sure what all this means. Others of you are just terrible from the beginning. And your planning looks like this, and of course, oftentimes we end up frustrated, and we want to punch a hole in the screen of the computer because we're frustrated with the situation that we're in. Well, I'm going to introduce you here to Joel. This is a video, see, on Webinar Jam, which we talked about a minute ago. We could play videos really easily, and I haven't figured out how to do that on GoToWebinar yet. It probably has a way to do it. But Joel came to our recent Complete Customer Lifecycle workshop, and in this video, he basically tells a story that he had spent tens of thousands of dollars investing in people helping him with Infusionsoft, investing in Infusionsoft itself, and it still just didn't work. And he was just frustrated as all get out, like many that we talked to. So we called this the grieving cycle. And here's what the grieving cycle looks like. First, you're excited about Infusionsoft. You get excited. You have that vision. Then you go to implement and you get frustrated, and then you might stick with it for a while, but then you eventually go into this state we call grieving. You're grieving your decision to move to Infusionsoft, but oftentimes you feel stuck because you've got all your contacts in there, you're all set up, it's so close, or it feels like it's so close, it's just not happening. And then you get excited again because you maybe go to Icon, or you talk to someone else who's getting amazing results, and or you hire a consultant, or whatever it might be. Get all excited again, that vision comes back, but then the frustration sets in again, and the cycle goes on and on and on. We talk to people all the time in this cycle. So I want to pose to you a totally different cycle that we want to get you on today. That cycle starts with first, plan and strategize. I'm going to show you how to plan and strategize on this. Then rapid implementation. It has to be rapid implementation. If it takes too long, you'll get stuck. You're going to get busy. You're always busy in your business. You got fires to fight. You got things to do. You're not going to get around to it if it doesn't happen quickly. And then we go into results and optimization phase. And the results and optimization phase is where you can really start to take advantage of Infusionsoft, because you've got measurable data that you can work off of, and you can go in and tweak those campaigns based on the data, and it starts to get really, really exciting there. So the problem with Infusionsoft, why do people struggle? Why is it so frustrating? It's because there are no rules. When there are no rules, it allows you to just go in and do whatever you want. And when you don't know exactly what you're doing, you can create a mess in there. Even when you do know what you're doing, you can create a mess. And so this idea that there are no rules is awesome, because it allows us full flexibility and the ability to just, leverage the power of Infusionsoft to the hilt once you know what you're doing. But before then, it can create a bit of a mess. So you may have heard people talk about Infusionsoft like a Ferrari that's just sitting in the garage, right? It's got all this power, it's got all this amazing ability, but it's just sitting in the garage collecting dust. Now, we hear this comment all the time from our clients, from Infusionsoft users who come to us and say, yeah, I've got this Ferrari, I'm just not utilizing it. And what my comment always back to people now is, you did buy a Ferrari. The problem is you did not buy a Ferrari that looks like this. You bought a box of Ferrari parts. And now you have to put together that Ferrari. And so that's where the challenge comes in. The problem is, too, you have that box of Ferrari parts, but you have a very basic Ferrari manual. The Ferrari manual doesn't tell you quite exactly how to do it. And so you go and you talk to other people, and that gets even more confusing. Some people tell you, hey, put the hood on the front of the car because you need, that aerodynamic aspect when you want to go fast. You talk to another person, that person's going to say, hey, you know what? You really need to put the hood on the back because when you're going in reverse, you need that. Other people will say, hey, put the tires on top because there's this really cool thing you can do when you tweak it out, for this specific type of campaign, and the tires on top really is awesome. But of course, someone else says, hey, put the tires on the bottom so the car can roll. And so you get all these different opinions. And of course, since Infusionsoft is so flexible, you can set it up however you want. You can put the hood on the back. You can put the tires on the top. You can do whatever you want. But when you build a car that way, when you build the Ferrari with the Ferrari parts, you end up with a car that looks like this. And it may just barely putt down the road, even though it's got all the right parts. If they're assembled the wrong way, and maybe you ended up assembling it and you got a few leftover parts. Have you ever put together something like that? You put together an IKEA bookshelf and there's leftover pieces and you're not sure what to do with them. That's what happens with Infusionsoft when you don't have those rules. So I'm going to give you today some structure and some rules to help you with that. When you don't have those rules and you end up with that kind of janky looking car, you end up also with some black holes in your business. You end up with people visiting your website and not opting in, so you have lost traffic. You end up with people that opt in and don't get adequately followed up with, so you have lost leads. You have people that you have a sales conversation with and they don't buy right away, and then you don't follow up with them adequately, and so you have lost opportunities. People that purchase and then don't hear from you again, lost customers. And then people that are happy customers and never get asked for referrals. And so then we have lost referrals. And these are the common black holes that we see in most businesses. So remember that dream that you had, and please keep the faith, have hope. I'm going to show you exactly how you can achieve that dream. Those ideas that you have, they can become reality by following what I'm going to show you in this webinar. So the first thing is, like I said, we need some structure. you need to know exactly how to do what you need to do in Infusionsoft. You need to not be guessing. You need to not be wondering, hey, should I do it this way or that way? There needs to be some rules around the way that you use Infusionsoft. The first rule is to build your campaigns based on the customer lifecycle stages. This is how we build campaigns. Your first campaign is a lead capture campaign. Once the lead is captured, it flows into an indoctrination campaign. Then it flows into a nurture and conversion campaign. Then it flows into a sales campaign. Then it flows into an upsell campaign, a fulfillment campaign, and a get referrals campaign. Now, if you build your campaigns in a messy way where you can't tell exactly what part of the life cycle your campaign is handling, is it lead capture? Is it the first 4 stages? Is it all of them? I've seen people build their entire business in one campaign. And then I've seen other people put literally like one email in each campaign and then link them together. That's too granular, and the other way is too macro. If you build it like this, and you label your campaigns, we label them stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, etc. Stage 1 through 7. And I always know when I look at a campaign exactly what stage it belongs to. I also know what came before it and what comes after it. If I'm looking at a stage 4 campaign, a sales campaign, I know that before that, the person was in a conversion campaign trying to get them to the sale. And I know that after that, they're going to go into an upsell campaign and a fulfillment campaign. The flow is consistent. And this way, when you have one campaign that links to the next and another one that links to the next, you have a simplified foundation that allows you to then build upon that. So if we connect them all, just like puzzle pieces or like Lego bricks, then I can continue to build on this. If I want to add another lead capture campaign of a different style, I can do that easily. If I want to try out a different indoctrination sequence, no problem. I can just plug it in. I can pull out the old one and plug in the new one if I like. If I want to add a new conversion process or a new upsell process, easy to do because all of these campaigns are essentially linked with what we call a trigger tag. There's one tag that starts the next campaign, and they always link together that way very, very easily and simply. And when you build it like this, again, you can keep adding the puzzle pieces and growing your campaigns and your process and your system for converting leads to customers and customers to longtime fans in a very, very easy way. So that is the first rule, is to organize your campaigns by customer lifecycle stage. There should be 7 of them. All right, so let's go through each of these stages, and I'm going to show you example campaigns. One of the things I'm also going to give you is the blueprints of these campaigns. I'm going to show them on the screen, and afterwards, anybody who's attended today is going to get a copy of the slides. And so you'll have the blueprints for all of these campaigns. Okay, so let's dive right into this. Stage 1, lead generation. Of course, the purpose is to capture more leads from existing traffic. This is what a standard lead generation campaign should look like. First, so look at where the green circle is. First, we have a lead capture form. So you might have a landing page, you're driving traffic there, and people fill out the form for the lead magnet. They fill out that form there, and of course, we're going to send them a lead magnet. What you can also do, though, is use a sequence prior to that to drive your existing list to that landing page to request that lead magnet. You might use that to revive an old list or just to keep nurturing that list, etc. Now, once they fill out the form, they're going to go straight into the deliver lead magnet sequence. Now, here is rule number 2 that I'm going to teach you. Now, there's many rules, but this is the second one that I'm going to teach you in this particular campaign. And that is that whenever someone fills out a form requesting some type of lead magnet, that the delivery of that lead magnet is in a separate sequence than the standard follow-up. The reason being is, let's just say in that lead magnet follow-up sequence down below, you've got multiple emails there. You've got a timeline of emails in this particular sequence where you send an email every other day for, say, 10 days. Well, let's say someone fills out the form and they get distracted. 5 days later, they remember, hey, I requested that lead magnet. I want to go read it. They go digging through their email. They can't find it. So they come back to the landing page and they fill it out again. If the delivery of the lead magnet is in this sequence, the lead magnet follow-up sequence, they will not receive the lead magnet again. nothing will happen because their contact record is already in that sequence and it cannot enter again. That's one of the rules of Infusionsoft. And so if we have the lead magnet delivery in a separate sequence, we can ensure that when they fill out that form, they go into the lead magnet delivery sequence every single time. There's no timers, there's nothing happening, so it's just going to send that email, and then they can enter that sequence again and again and again as many times as they want without also going into the follow-up sequence again. So that's a key thing there. All right, and then after the lead magnet follow-up, they flow into the start indoctrination sequence, and that starts them on the indoctrination campaign. Now, down below, you'll see that there's another option there, lead magnet with segmentation. So you might want to ask a particular question in the sequence there, or in your form there, that allows you to segment your people. Maybe you need to know if they're male or female. You need to know their age group. You need to know their biggest problem they're dealing with. And with that information, you can segment them into very specific lists. And if you do that, then all you need to do to change this is just connect your promote lead magnet to existing list sequence into the lead magnet with segmentation form. And then these sequences here just flow into start indoctrination. So you can swap out this whole section here very easily to add that extra feature. Now, these are all pre-built campaigns that we put together that we offer to our clients. And it's a very, very easy way to get started. They have copy all built out in them. So you can just go in and edit that copy and be up and running very, very quickly. Remember, we talked about rapid implementation. You've got to get this stuff launched quickly. Okay, so next, let's just go over a quick little story. I worked with this client a while back where we're focusing on lead generation. So we just talked about the lead generator campaign, and they wanted to focus on lead generation, driving more leads into their funnel. And so we did some analysis, and we were able to do this analysis because we set up the campaigns right and we had the tracking in place. And we were able to increase from 127 new leads to 785 new leads compared to the previous month. And we got 99% more clicks on the emails and 104% more opt-ins in just a single split test. So when you get this stuff set up right, it's really easy to optimize these campaigns because you can see the data and you know exactly what's going on. Here's another example of a lead generation campaign, a very simple lead generation campaign. This one's slightly different. It's called the Pay It Forward Flywheel. That's what we call it. This is the Pay It Forward campaign. And so what we offered to Infusionsoft users was 198 images to beautify your Infusionsoft emails. If you've used the email builder, not the new one, but the standard one that we've had for a while, it's a little tricky to make the emails look nice, right? So we offered this little package of images for free, plus a short course on how to easily create great looking emails in Infusionsoft. And all I had to do was fill out the form, name and email, and you get instant access to that information. Now on the thank you page, when you fill out the form, the thank you page would say gift the 198 email images to a friend. Now that you have access to this short course and 198 images to beautify your emails, please pay it forward by sending them as a gift to a friend. So we turned our lead generation campaign into a referral campaign. That's why we call it the Pay It Forward Flywheel, because once it gets going, it's perpetual. These people refer more people, and those people refer more people, and they refer more, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so this is a great way to spin up your lead generation in a very quick way. So the results for that was we spent $150 on Facebook ads. We generated some leads, of course. Now those leads referred 122 new people. Those are free leads, okay? Those are 100% free leads. We did not pay for those because they came as referrals from the people that we did pay for. And that generated free money. You can see there at the top of the screen, it so far has generated $13,104 in revenue for us from just the free leads. And so that's really, really exciting if you can do a lot of that and grow your revenue with free leads. Okay, so here's what the Pay It Forward Flywheel campaign looks like. So again, it starts with the lead capture form. That's where we offered our 198 images right there on step 1. Now, again, we can promote this to our existing list, and we did at this time when we launched it. We can promote it to their existing list with that simple sequence there. Now, when someone fills out the form, they get the lead magnet delivered to them, and they go into the lead magnet follow-up, and they flow into the start indoctrination. But when they fill out the form, they also land immediately on the step 2 page where they can refer a friend. That's a separate form where when they fill it out, they're putting their name, their friend's name and email into the contact information. It's creating a new contact record for the friend. The friend then goes into that follow-up to referral sequence where they get an email saying, hey, your friend wants you to have these 198 images for free. And then if they click on the link, they land back on the lead capture form, they fill it out, and they can request the lead magnet. So you can see how that perpetual action happens over and over and over, because that person now is going to land on the thank you page again and be encouraged to refer a friend. Okay, that's lead generation. There's obviously lots and lots of ways you can do lead generation, but we're going to move on now to stage 2, which is indoctrination. The purpose of stage 2 is to get people to know, like, and trust you. We can't go selling people stuff if they don't know us yet, if they don't like us, if they don't trust us, if they have no reason to believe us or think that our product or service is better than anybody else. So we're going to use stage 2 to build rapport, relationship, and credibility. The indoctrination campaign is super, super simple. It's essentially just one sequence of emails that tells them a little bit about who we are and what we do and how we can help them and how we're different. Now, you may recognize some of this stuff if you're familiar with Digital Marketer. We've become Digital Marketer certified, and we've taken a lot of the content that they have, and we've combined it with the campaigns and the content that we've created and built over the last 4 years. And we've built what we affectionately call the box out machine. We've taken Digital Marketer's machine and we've combined it with our stuff, and we've created the box out machine. So a lot of this is actually Digital Marketer content right here. This indoctrination series, there's 3 different versions that they created. One's a best of series, one is a bonding series, and one is a how can I help series. So you can swap those out and utilize whichever one is best for your business. Then you'll see down below there's a sequence, ignore if already been indoctrinated. So if someone's already been through this and they get the indoctrination tag, they won't go through the indoctrination series again. We want to pull them out and make sure that they never go through that again. They just go through it the first time as a new lead. They become indoctrinated. Now we can continue to nurture that relationship and convert them. Okay, so those are different series there. So another example here, when I first left Infusionsoft over 4 years ago, I created a little video series. I didn't know the term indoctrination back then. I just was creating this video series because I was launching my business. And what has been interesting is I ran that video series for the launch of my business, but I haven't really done anything with it since. But every time I go to Icon or a GKSC conference or I run into other Infusionsoft users, so many times people will come to me and say, oh, those videos were amazing. And I still reference them. I still utilize the principles that I learned, etc. And I realized not too long ago that this was a great indoctrination series. And so we actually revived it. And I've put it back in place, and it's still converting sales over 4 years later. It's just amazing how when you get the right type of indoctrination in place, it really connects with people and allows them, again, to know, like, and trust you. All right, stage 3 is lead conversion. So the purpose here is to educate and give reasons for prospects to buy. So this one is called the Webinizer. This is a standard campaign that we've built to help you with webinars. So again, the first part is a webinar registration form. When someone registers for the webinar, they then go into a third-party webinar registration sequence, where if you're using something like GoToWebinar or Webinar Jam or whatever, when they fill out an Infusionsoft form, we need to register them in that third-party system. And once they're registered, we apply a tag so we know that they're registered, and they move on to the webinar reminders sequence. And then once the webinar comes and goes, they get tagged whether they attended or did not attend the webinar, which moves them on to the next part where we have follow-up specific to attendees or specific to non-attendees. And if you'd like, you can also do like an encore presentation. And then if people are taking action from whatever the call to action on the webinar was, you can tag them for that and track conversions. And so that's the webinar campaign. Again, very simple, very straightforward. All the steps are there. All the copy is written. It just needs to be tweaked to include your topic of the webinar. All right. Now, there's also what we call the educator. So webinars are one way that you can convert people on your existing list. The educator is basically offering a free course inside of a membership site to convert your your list as well. So they get a piece of this course, and then of course that course builds up to selling them additional information or services. So we build this one where when they come in, they get started on, welcome to our course. When they complete lesson 1, then that goal is achieved and they move on to lesson 2 and on and on and on. Now you'll see down below where it says green, yellow, red, there's a whole system there where we keep track of people's engagement. If they're engaged in the course and they're logging in and they're completing lessons, then their status stays green. If they haven't completed a lesson in a while, then their status might turn to yellow. And if they really haven't completed a lesson in a long time, then their status might turn to red. And of course, you can create saved searches for each of those, put them on your dashboard, and then you can quickly and easily access those lists. Here's the people that are green, here's the people that are yellow, here are the people that are red. And even further, you could automate things to happen to those groups. So if their status turns red, you can have automated emails, text messages, voicemails, etc. Go to those people to encourage them to log back in and continue on with the course. Okay. All right, stage 4. We need to close sales. After we get an offer in front of people and we're working through that conversion process, we need to close the sales. So the purpose here is to help sales reps be more efficient, make sure no lead slips through the cracks, and give management visibility into what's going on. And of course, those of you that sell online, your stage 4 looks a little bit different. But here's what we do for the sales automator. We have what we call the sales disposition form. This is an internal form that we utilize inside of Infusionsoft to move people from one stage to the next stage to the next stage in your sales process. You can see over to the right the different stages there. So first, when someone takes the appropriate action, they get added to the sales pipeline. They pop up on the sales reps list in the new lead stage. Then we start working that lead. You might have multiple attempts to contact them. So those are what ATCs over there on the right are. Attempt to contact 1, attempt to contact 2, etc. And then you might have to qualify that lead and then schedule them for an appointment. And then if they miss the appointment or if they complete the appointment, these are all stages in the sales process. And all of this is triggered by that internal form. Every time you fill out the form, you select a new stage, it moves the person along this timeline from one stage to the next stage, tagging them along the way, adding notes along the way, triggering any appropriate emails, automated reminders for the appointments, etc. And then we go into negotiating, awaiting payment, and we either close the deal or we lose the deal. So pretty standard sales pipeline stuff, but it's all built out, all ready to go, functions right out of the box. Here's what the sales pipeline form looks like. So you open up the form, you just select which stage you're moving them into from the radio buttons there. If you are booking them for an appointment, then you just put the date and time there and any notes for yourself, and then that will start appointment reminder emails for the client, as well as a reminder task for yourself when that appointment is coming due. You can also check the little box, which is in the form, if you want to create a manual follow-up task for yourself. So let's say you talk to someone and they say, hey, great, I'd love to talk to you. I'm very interested, but I'm busy right now. Call me back in 2 weeks. Great. You just put a date in there 2 weeks in advance, check the box, hit submit, and it will automatically remind you to call that person back in 2 weeks. When you get all this set up, it's great because right on your dashboard, you can have your pipeline stages right there for every sales rep. Each sales rep can come in each day and know exactly what they need to do. Okay, I've got 3 new leads to work. I've got 3 people in the ATC 1 stage. I've got 1 person in qualifying. I've got 4 appointments currently set, etc. And so they can just work those leads right through the pipeline. Management has great visibility into this as well, so they can know exactly what's going on. All right, so for those of you that sell online, we have a different campaign that we call our Fast Cash Generator. The Fast Cash campaign is really a flash sale type of thing, but it's structured after doing many tests with different clients. It's structured in a particular way to generate cash fast. So this particular client ran this campaign and generated $50,000 in 4 days the first time they ran it. So this client was doing about $100,000 a year when we first engaged with them. They ran the Fast Cash campaign and generated $50,000 in 4 days. They tripled revenue in the last 3 years. So that was 3 years ago when they first did that. They've been running that campaign every quarter, roughly every quarter for the last 3 years. And the last time they did it, it generated $87,000. So it just gets better and better and better running that same campaign to their list as they continue to grow their list. So that's really exciting, that type of thing for an e-commerce type of business. All right, stage 5 is fulfillment and back office. Well, when we sell someone, we need to fulfill, we need to do it well, we need to do it excellently, and we need to make sure that that happens every single time. And we also want to make sure we have visibility and reporting into our campaigns. So the purpose here is automate fulfillment and internal workflow. So we set up a reporting campaign for all of our clients where at any key point in the process, we want to know what's going on there. We trigger a little reporting sequence. So you can see for the sales process, we can track new leads, appointments set, appointments completed, closed one, etc. Any stage you want. Those are just the ones that you see on this particular screen. And so any metric that you want to track in Infusionsoft, we can set it up. And essentially what the output is here is we know for, let's say, appointment set, we know how many were set this week, last week, the week before, how many were set this month, last month, the month before, how many were set this year, last year, and the year before. And those numbers are right on the dashboard, right in your Infusionsoft dashboard. So you can just log in, look at the number and say, oh, okay, last month we did 20. This month we're at 15 and we're on pace to do 25. Great. So you can see exactly what's going on with your Infusionsoft campaigns. We've also got the billing automator. So if you have subscription billing or you run payment plans, these are all things that you really want to make sure that you can keep track of and know exactly what's going on and automate as much of the process as possible. So this starts with when a credit card is about to expire. So if someone's on a payment plan or they have a subscription payment due and their credit card expires, that payment's going to fail. We want to try and correct that ASAP. So when the credit card is about to expire, say 30 days out, that first goal is triggered and they go into that first sequence where we can email them and say, hey, your credit card's about to expire. We need a new credit card. You can have them call in. You can trigger a task for someone in your office to call them. If you have a membership site, they can click, log in, add a new credit card, whatever it may be. Now, if the credit card actually does expire, we want to follow up a little bit more aggressively. Hey, your credit card is now expired and your next bill is going to fail. You're going to lose access to the membership site, whatever. We can threaten them with whatever we want, right? And again, we got follow-up there to try and get a new credit card. Now, if they actually do update their credit card, we can tag them and clear out their records. So now their status is back to normal. The credit card's updated. Everything is all good. But if the credit card fails on the next billing, we can trigger this next part, failed payment, and that can trigger actions internally for someone to call them to collect. It can trigger, sending them to a collections facility or whatever you want to do there. You can revoke access to the membership site, etc. Now, if they do have a successful billing after failure, then we need to restore their access. And so that can happen automatically. Now, if someone calls you up and says, hey, sorry, my credit card's been compromised, that card's not going to work, can I just send you a check or wire transfer or pay in person, whatever it might be, then we've got that note template up above that you can run to restore their access and their status as well. So full billing automation, all taken care of for you. The campaign is all built out, again, with copy and everything set to go. Rapid implementation. All right, stage 6 is upselling. Okay, so once we sell a new customer, we want to upsell them into future services and products. And we're not going to go into, for sake of time, we're not going to go into the details of upselling here, but there's a couple different ways to do it. We have a few campaigns built out for this. One is kind of your standard upsell chain where they buy level 1 and we upsell them to level 2, and then we upsell them to level 3, we upsell them to level 4, etc. Others might just be an upsell in the cart. So, just like Amazon, you put something in the cart and it says, hey, you might also be interested in this, this, and this, and you show them right in the cart. And then others, what we do is what we call cycling offers. And so let's just say you've got 8 different products that you might sell people. They don't necessarily have to go in order, like level 1, 2, 3, 4. You can buy them in any order. Well, we put them into cycling offers, which essentially at whatever interval you want, say once a month, they get an offer for a different product. If they've already bought the product, or if they've already seen the offer for the product, then it just skips that one and goes on to the next one. And it continues on and cycles through that list of offers until they've seen them all or bought them all, okay? And so there's multiple ways to do that. All right, stage 7 is getting referrals. And I'll take you through a very basic one that we use often with our clients, which is a customer satisfaction survey that turns into referrals. So customer satisfaction, one of the common ways to measure this these days is through an NPS score, which is Net Promoter Score. Net Promoter Score, really all it is asking one simple question. How likely are you to refer friends and family to us? And then you give a score on a scale of 0 to 10, right? And then we added a couple of extra questions here. What have we done well? And what areas can we improve, etc.? We just want to collect some extra data there. But when people select their answer to that first question, if they select 0 through 6 in the NPS paradigm, they're considered detractors. If they select 7 to 8, they're actually neutral. If they select 9 or 10, they are promoters. What this means is they're likely to say good things about you and promote your product or service if they're 9 or 10. If they're 7 or 8, they're going to be kind of indifferent. And if they're 6 or less, they're actually probably going to say negative things if someone asks them about you. So based on how they answer, you can route them into different sequences. If they're 0 to 6, we might have a task automatically to call them and figure out what went wrong and how we can make it better. Same thing with 7s and 8s. 9s and 10s automatically flow into a sequence where we say, hey, we're so glad things have gone well. We're glad that you're willing to refer friends and family. Why don't you go ahead and do that now? Click here. We can offer them a bonus. We can offer you a bonus, etc. And then they go on to a form where they can fill out their friend's name and email and send them a personal message if they'd like. Okay, so those are the 7 stages. I wish we could go into much more detail, but I don't want to take up too much of your time today. But another one of the things that you need to have in place is a tag naming system. Now, we've developed a tag naming system with a set of clear rules that I'm happy to share with you, and I'll just send to everybody who attends today. I'll send that to you automatically after the webinar here. You'll get our tag naming system. But your tag naming system needs a few things. I don't have a link for you to download it, so I'm going to send it to you afterwards. But every tag should tell you exactly what it does and where it is used. So if you can look at each one of your tags and you know exactly what that tag does and you know which campaign it's used in, then you're on the right track. Okay? And our tag naming convention teaches you exactly how to do that. All right? You should have 6 tag categories. I see people with just either no tag categories, they're not categorizing their tags, or hundreds of them, and it gets very, very confusing. So we have a simplified way of managing these tags in a super, super organized way. You'll be able to find any tag almost instantaneously and know exactly what it's for and where it's used. So we want to eliminate this particular situation where you are screaming at Infusionsoft, where you're punching your screen, when you have the structure set up to follow, when your campaigns are well organized and they're all connected nice and easily through tags, and your tags are named in a very, very organized fashion, then you can eliminate this frustration. Here's the problem we run into all the time. See, these are framed houses that were never completed. This is what we see all the time with Infusionsoft users, is you've got a little bit set up and you're continuing to use Infusionsoft in hopes that the rest of the house will get completed. The problem with an incomplete house is it doesn't serve its function. It doesn't serve its function at all. If you slept in one of these houses, the rain would still drip on you. The wind would still blow in your house. The bugs will still get into your bed when you're sleeping. It does not serve its function, which its function is to protect you and keep you warm and dry and bug-free, right? But if you have a house with no walls, it doesn't serve the function. If you have an Infusionsoft account without those 7 core campaigns set up, it is not serving its function. There are still major, major problems. So we want to make sure that you can get your complete house finished, that your 7 campaigns, that complete customer lifecycle is finished and launched in your business, and then you can go into that optimization phase where you can continue to test, try new things, add, remove, etc. from those core campaigns. So we need the capture leads, indoctrination, conversion, sales, upsells, fulfillment, and get referrals. You need that core set up and launched in your business so that you can continue to work through it. Now, like I mentioned, we've teamed up with Digital Marketer. We've become certified there. Of course, we're Infusionsoft certified. And we've brought all this great information together into some amazing systems and campaigns all ready to go for you. This is a list of 13 of them. There's actually 25 of them now that we've built out. 25 campaigns. There's a handful of them in the stage 1 lead generation. There's a handful of them in stage 3. There's a handful of them in stage 4. There's a few in every stage so that depending on your business model, you can utilize the ones that make most sense in your business. And we want to help you get these campaigns launched in your business in the fastest way possible. And that's why we're offering the Complete Customer Lifecycle Workshop. The Complete Customer Lifecycle Workshop is a 2-day implementation workshop with the Box Out expert team. You're going to get all 25 of those campaigns of the customer lifecycle, but more importantly, we're going to launch 7 of them. We're going to launch at least one campaign in each stage before you leave the 2-day event. Now, think about that. Remember your vision, remember your dream that you've been striving to achieve with Infusionsoft and maybe struggling a bit. In 2 days, you're going to be there. In 2 days, all of those 7 campaigns launched, up and running, functioning in your business, and generating results. You have a little bit of homework and pre-calls to get you ready before the workshop so that you can really take advantage of everything once it happens. And then you also get 1-year access to our Double Your Sales Club, where you have access to our private Facebook group. There's some great training and curriculum inside of our membership site, and all that is to help you take more and more advantage of Infusionsoft. So the Complete Customer Lifecycle Workshop is only $5,000. It's happening right now in San Diego. We've got 2 different dates, June 9th and 10th, which is coming up right away. And we've got a couple of slots open for June 9th and 10th. If you can come on June 9th and 10th, we'll actually give you a little discount. So give us a call, and we'd love to get you in for June 9th and 10th. Now, our August event, August 5th and 6th, is filling up pretty quickly. So if you're interested in that event, then let us know as well, because that one is just about full. We've got a few slots left there. So here's Tom Bodorf. I mentioned him earlier. I think he's actually on the call today. But Tom's an example of one of our clients who has implemented the Complete Customer Lifecycle and has doubled his sales twice. And it just goes to show, when you get the Complete Customer Lifecycle set up, the results are endless in every aspect of your business. People go about trying to grow their business by just generating more leads. Build the list, or maybe they'll focus just on the sales. Close more sales. But in reality, it takes the whole customer life cycle. But once it's all in place, doubling sales, tripling sales, quadrupling sales becomes much, much easier. Growing your business when you've got all cylinders firing is a true possibility. All right, so I mentioned Joel in the beginning, and this was another video of Joel telling the rest of this story. He came to our Complete Customer Lifecycle Workshop, and he said it was the first time in 3 years that anything has ever worked with his Infusionsoft account. And there were a couple other videos in this clip. You'll actually see them if you go to the URL that I'll show you here in just a minute. You'll see Joel's story and a few other people's story about how they were able to come to the Complete Customer Lifecycle Workshop and have amazing things happen in their business. So again, it's a 2-day workshop. You get all 25 of those campaigns. We're going to launch one campaign in every stage, so you have your complete customer lifecycle up and running. You'll have a little bit of homework and pre-calls to get you ready. 1-year access to the Double Your Sales Club. We've got 2 events currently scheduled, June 9th and 10th, or August 5th and 6th. And you can go to boxoutmarketing.com/CCL workshop to get more information about the Complete Customer Lifecycle Workshop. We'd love to have you. It's turned out to be a great event for the people that have come. We will be booking some more in the future, but may not be for a while. So go ahead and get in during June or August. Let's make this summer the summer where you finally get all this Infusionsoft stuff launched, and then you have that foundation to be able to just continue going forward. I'm seeing some questions here. Craig is asking if we'll be sending out a replay. Yes, I hope so. Like I mentioned earlier, we're switching from Webinar Jam to GoToWebinar. One of the things I love about Webinar Jam is it records automatically. GoToWebinar, I did remember to hit the record button, so we should have a recording that I should be able to send out later tonight or tomorrow morning. Liz, looks like you're asking the same question. Let's see here. Yeah, in the tag course, I'm going to send you all the PDF document that lays out all of the tag rules, and also it will have a link to a webinar that I did explaining the whole tag naming convention. All right, we've got Jean on here as well. she's essentially running the fast cash generator that I mentioned earlier. It's a little bit different in her situation. We kind of tweaked it, but she's running it right now, and she said it's still running and will run through Friday of this week. And she said it's already paid for itself. It's a Memorial Day promo and running an extension now for the next few days. She says it's already paid for itself, so she's trying to be a testimonial, although you can't see her or hear her, but her comments are there. Alrighty, any other questions? Go ahead and visit boxoutmarketing.com/CCL workshop. You can request more information there about the workshops. We'd love to have you. Like I said, they're turning out to be great workshops. We've had people come to these and just be absolutely blown away that they can get these campaigns launched so quickly and have them producing results in their business. All right. Well, thanks everybody for attending. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions, go ahead and submit them there. Happy to answer any questions about the campaigns that I showed you, about the way that we structure them, about the tag naming convention. If you have specific questions about that, I'm also happy to answer questions about the complete customer lifecycle workshop. If you're interested in going to that, go ahead and submit your questions here, and I can answer those now. All right, we got Liz Langer on here as well, also giving us a shout out. She said, I heart Box Out Marketing. Y'all are awesome. So thank you, Liz. Appreciate that. D is asking, were you going to send us the framework for the campaigns? Yes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a copy of the slides of this presentation. And so you'll have the screenshots, the layout, or the blueprints, I call them, for each of those campaigns, okay? So you'll have those. You can go build them yourself if you want. If you want to just have it done really fast and not have to worry about, am I doing it right, am I doing it wrong, etc., just come to the Complete Customer Lifecycle Workshop. We'll get these campaigns in your account and implemented specifically for your business in 2 days. 48 hours, done, launched, ready to rock. All right, Marion says, thank you, Tyler. That was quite informative. Good, I'm glad you liked it. All right, Gene says, very interested in the August dates. Need to generate a bit more revenue off the Memorial Day promo. And we're there. Yeah, I agree. And we should be able to generate that over the next few days. All right, Tom says, excellent presentation as always. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate that. All right, Barbara. Thanks, Tyler. You always make my brain whirl. I hope that's whirl in a good way and not spin, right? Whirl as in like it's going fast. I've got lots of ideas. Things are great. Versus now my head's spinning and I'm confused and not quite sure what to do. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions. Comment from Roger. Great stuff as always. Thanks, Roger. Appreciate it. Very good. Lots to do from Andrew. Gene signing off. Great. Well, thanks so much, everybody. Really appreciate you being on here. I hope it was really helpful to you. Like I said, I'll be sending out links to download the tag naming convention. I'll send you the slides so you have those blueprints. And I'll send you some more information about the complete customer lifecycle workshop. So thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.